Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. My name is Fizz. We have an exciting new video showcasing today. We have a guest today. We have Rage Maker, one of my admins. Say hi, Rage.
Hello.
And today, me and him have put our brains together in making a new creature for ARK Survival Evolve. And I definitely want to showcase it in this video and just talk about it because I want you guys' opinion and thoughts about it, because Wildcard is going to be adding a brand new creature to the Lost Isles, which you don't know, that's the final and last free DLC map being added at the end of the year. This is the last and final installment of ARK 1, you would say, before ARK 2. So yeah, let's get right started with this. Alright, so before we start with our kind of idea of the creature, let's go over what they're looking for. So the Lost Island creature submission guidelines, basically, in summary, is it needs to be a real-world existing creature. It has to be a prehistoric creature, dinosaur, mammal, or reptiles. Developers cannot post their own ideas, but they can share their thoughts and opinions, right? And supplemental information, wiki links, images, and art is preferred, right? So you can post like mod stuff, but you probably shouldn't, because that ruins mods. I mean, let's be honest, don't post mods. And yeah, there's a lot of cool suggestions, but we're gonna suggest ours, which is Rage. What is it? What is it?
It is a panda bear.
Da-da, da, da, da. Now, actually, how do you say the prehistoric panda bear? I can't even say it. The
Agriarctos Beatrix.
Beatrix panda bear. Now, for our panda bear, okay, you're probably all going to be like, oh, for God's sakes, it's a goddamn panda bear. Listen. I've been around the woods. I've been around the wild card. I've been around everywhere. This creature is indeed a panda bear, but it's very different and very unique because its taming is different, its abilities are different, and I do have to say, Rage, it is a one-of-a-kind creature that we have made, hasn't it?
Definitely.
Compared
to...
yeah. So,
it would definitely bring something new to the game.
Yeah, and that's what Wildcard is looking for. They don't want something that's already in the game. They want something that's new and unique, and maybe even a little, how to say, ballsy to add into base game, because as you all know, you know, a lot of the new Gen 2 creatures are really, really crazy. Like the Shadow Man's got every ability under the sun. But it works, and it's different and unique. The Noglin's different, you know. They want something new, and even that new creature. What the heck's the new creature called that's coming with the Isle? The new sauropod. It's like has an armor. What does it do? It removes the armor of the creature that you're riding. I don't remember what it's called. Do you know what it's called, Rage?
It's called the Amargasaurus.
Yeah, I'll put a picture up right now, and basically this creature basically is a full armor pen creature and just destroys and melts armor. So pretty interesting, pretty cool, and it has to do something with saddles. But let's go over our actual Beatrix panda bear. Now, the Beatrix is an actual real life creature. It was a prehistoric panda before we actually get the great panda, and it is technically smaller than a regular panda, but for purposes for ARK and our kind of gameplay mechanics, we are making it, I think, twice the size. And you're probably wondering, well, that's against the rules. Actually, it's not. If you look at most of Wildcard's creatures, they're none of them are almost not even the same exact size what they are in real life. So I think we are okay to do this as well. Don't you agree, Rage? I think we're fine. I think we're perfectly fine. I think we're perfectly fine because this is a sci-fi game. This is not a historical accurate game. Hell, the Rex still doesn't have feathers. So, I mean, and the Spino's completely made wrong. It's not even exactly how it's supposed to look. So, I think we're fine. But anyways, Rage, would you explain and read our wild prehistoric panda to everyone so they know what it is?
Sure. So, basically, it's primarily found in the bamboo forest region. It's supposed to be a massive mammal for our take here. Many on the island have started calling it a panda bear. A name befitting its appearance due to its resemblance to the giant panda subfamily and panda-like patterns with the black and white.
Yeah.
Because most existing species in the family also have the same characteristics of the black and white patches, this would be a hardy, non-hostile creature, typically found grazing in the bamboo forest region or climbing on trees to feed on leaves above the ground. If an intruder enters in its territory, it instantly becomes enraged and will go on the offensive, as it is bigger than most of the creatures that would be in the forest.
Yep.
It's able to tank most creatures its size, and basically they'll get tired of trying to fight and eventually will leave the area. The panda bear, for our sake, is roughly the size of a rhinoceros with the speed of a carno, but does not have the ramping charge speed of the dire bear. Mei Yin, according to our specs here, has studied this creature for some time and found it difficult to tame the adults, meaning they're not tameable. Instead, she focused on taming the offspring, which she found great success in, and soon found that the panda bear was a formidable force in battle.
Yeah, so we got a lot to unpack right there, but basically that's kind of our wild summary dossier that we kind of tried to make. And obviously for the Lost Isles, there is a redwood forest and a bamboo forest-ish kind of style, so we kind of have it in both areas. It can climb redwood forest trees, because why not? We don't have a bear in game. And basically it's a little bit bigger or the same size as a rhino, and the whole premise of this panda bear creature is to be an actual tank. Now we'll go into its taming and abilities in a second, but basically we wanted to make something that's different than any other creature in ARK. And what's missing in the ARK, Rage, at base game ARK?
A tank.
There's no tank. There's no actual tank. But obviously you guys could say, oh, what about the Bronto, the Paraceratheriums? Listen, I'm not talking about bullet sponges, all right? I'm actually talking about mechanicals of being an actual tank, like an actual abilities that make it have reduction and even armor that looks like a tank, right? And I think this would really add great purpose in PvP and PvE because, well, in base game ARKs, when you do boss fights, what do? You just throw all your shit into there and hopefully something lives, right? I mean, most of the time it does, because sometimes a lot of the bosses are easy. But I think this would be really cool and interesting to do. So I guess let's go over its taming. Okay, so let's actually go over the taming, which its taming is really interesting because you can't actually tame the adults. So basically what you have to do is you need to knock out the female panda bears or the Beatrix, and you need to milk the milk out of her and basically combine it with beer to have a new kind of kibble recipe. We're gonna just call it a kibble beer, basically. And what you need to do is you need to passively tame the babies, and after a certain amount of time you can basically lure the baby away, kind of like the Strider, the distance marker, and then you tame it, and it would get its levels and everything. And that's kind of its whole taming mechanic. We didn't want a creature that's just KO knockout, because in my opinion I think it's boring and dumb. Would you agree, Rage? I mean,
yes, I think that's also why we added that it is immune to the Maywing's ability.
Yes, it is also immune to the Maywings because these guys, I would say, spawn between 1 and 3 of a pair, right? So mama bear, maybe 2 cubs, or a father bear and 2 cubs, or even 1 cub, mama and papa bear. So they're not really alone per se, but you can only tame the babies. And yes, they're definitely immune to the Maywings abilities, and also immune to topo effects as well, because that's one of its tamed ability. Is the only way to knock one out is to feed it beer, which that's one of our PvP abilities too. we made it immune. It's a mammal that's immune to topo effects, which kind of makes sense. And if you don't know, I do play World of Warcraft, and yes, it's a lot of reference from World of Warcraft panda bears, but that's because I just love the whole concept of adding a new resources for taming. Because what's beer used for? It's only used for one thing: Calicotheriums, and they're useless. Calicotheriums, Calicotheriums could use a TLC in my opinion, but That's another story for another day. So yeah, adding beer and mama's milk from the panda bear, adding it into a new kibble beer, and you got a passive tame with that. That's basically it. All right, so let's go with its abilities. So it's immune to topo effects, like we just said a minute ago. It cannot be used at any shocking tricks or anything. It just has no effects whatsoever to it. It has a deep sleep ability, this is really cool. So if it's sleeping for about 30 minutes at a time, its resistance and abilities are increased for a short duration called well rested. And this is really cool. Well rested is a buff that increases the panda bear's health regen, damage, and speed for 1 hour. Now that is really cool. We don't have anything that has like a kind of a rested buff. Well, I guess you could say the Megalosaurus, the sleepy rolls, right? They technically have a, what you call a sleeping buff, because when they're sleeping, they don't get their drowsy effect, right? And then when they get up, they get a drowsing effect. So this is kind of like the opposite reflecting. Can climb trees up and down, pretty cool. I wouldn't say side to side, it might be a little weird for the bear. Has a small percentage chance to gather vegetables from vegetation, so like other creatures in the game, right? We need something that has kind of a veggie gather, right? Have it maybe like, it could be like a literally like 1 or 2% chance, right? I think that'd be balanced, right, Rage? Like very small chance to gather, just to add something else to it. Very tanky mammal is a good for side tank for bosses. That's what we've already talked about. And then here is its other tanking ability. If the panda bear takes around 80% of its health in one go or multiple goes, right? So if it's at 100% health and it gets immediately dropped down, all 80% of its health is removed from it, it will go into it in hibernation state, which will be immune to all damage for roughly about 10 to 30 seconds. Could be less depending on balancing, right? Obviously, this is just our idea, so we're just putting it out there. They could change it to be even 10 seconds. It can only be woken up once its health has regenerated to 30%, so obviously you could use a Daedon, a Snow Owl, a Tech Pistol, or even just force feeding it like meat or beer or whatever, and basically healing it up to be about 30%, and it wakes up and it loses its hibernation buff for another 60 minutes. So that means it cannot go back into hibernation state, which is the immunity damage, for another 60 minutes. So that way it gives it a balance, right? So it's like a creature you use for a boss fight or a world boss, right? Maybe like a Titanosaur, Titans. And basically you use it for 30 minutes, boom, and it uses its hibernation because it takes a lot of amount of damage, and then it goes into hibernation sleep. And then you gotta, just wait for the cooldown 60 minutes again to use it. So I think it's kind of balanced. Obviously, it could be reworked a little bit more, but I think we got a really good base idea for the design for the ability. And then lastly, Rage, would you like to read the last one? Because this one was a really funny one.
It has a PvP function. So players can feed it beer. If an enemy brings the bear to tank for them, the enemy can feed the bear beer in order to keep it sleeping.
Yep, so if the bear is sleeping at someone's base, right, because what you're going to be doing with this bear, it's going to be sleeping around your bases, right, until you're needed them, right, because you want to make sure you have that rested, well-rested buff ready when you wake it up. Basically, if an enemy player feeds it beer when it's sleeping, it can stay asleep longer, so that means it has a debuff on it that it can't wake up for 5 minutes. So obviously it could be like, what, one beer could be an added 30 seconds, right? So that way beer's more used than just that, right? Because I think that'd be fine. Right now we have one beer equals 5 minutes, but I think that's fine, right? I mean, that's just a base idea. And like I said, these are all ideas that we're putting out there, and if you guys have any more suggestions and stuff, I would love, I'm gonna keep saying this, I would love for you guys to get on this website. This is the wildcard website. Make an account and comment away some more ideas for this, because this is a community-made creature, and I would love to hear some more suggestions and thoughts about how else we can improve this panda, because this is supposed to be a tank panda, and I would love to hear it. All right, and lastly, the saddle. So the saddle is something that is kind of unique and cool because it's got it's got even 3 functions, right? So one function obviously is riding the creature, right? That's no brainer. But another function is actually an armor plated, and this is Rage's idea. And Rage, why would we want an armor plated panda bear? And what's the style you're looking for?
Well, I was thinking about like the armor bear in the Golden Compass, where it has a plated armor that would fit in with the tankiness of the creature.
Yeah, I'm showing you right now the little comment you posted on the thing. Yeah, I think it would look cool, something like that, or even the concept art that I found online of a panda bear wearing armor with the gold armor. I think it would look dope. Wait, because we don't have, like, all our ARK's armors are kind of two styles. They're leather and boring, or tech, right? There's no other style for armor. So if we add like an armor plating kind of saddle armor, that'd look really cool. Plus, I added the keg bears on the side, which I think would look really cool, and that also adds its another functionality, which adds two functionalities, which is a saddle has a small box that can store food in it, same as a Hyena Dawn meat pack. So if you don't know what that does, it decreases meats a little over by like what 5%, and then also reduces by their spoil time by 2%, and also reduces their weight by 50%. So that's, but we would have it not meat, we would have it as vegetation. So that'd be vegetables, not vegetation. I don't know what I was thinking vegetation for some reason. Anyways, vegetables. It would be vegetables. And then lastly, this is a really cool thing, which is this right here. Milk can be made into a new drink called Mei Ying's Bravery Brew, which is a new food. Which what does it does? Which can give a health regen, a 2% movement speed increase, and a cold resistance, made only inside the saddle of the bear. So now we have a new thing, just like the Equus, right? It has a mobile mortar and pestle. This has a mobile beer. What is it called? What do you call them? Brewing? A mobile
brewery.
A
mobile brewery.
Yeah, mobile brewery. And Mei Ying is from the actual ARK story, so it'd be kind of tying into, you know, her style and everything. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's the panda bear. That's it. So I don't know what else to say, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have anything else to say, Rage?
Yeah, upvote it.
Yes. So you make the account and you go right here, this little arrow right here. You click it up. I would love to hear you guys' feedback and everything. And obviously, there is some artistic liberties that we've taken, right? I mean, like making the bear. This is what the bear they think would look like IRL in real life, right? And obviously, we're kind of having a representation of an actual panda bear, that the great panda bear from China right now. So I think it'd be cool. I would love, you know, to hear what you guys' thoughts are on making an actual bear tank, because that's kind of the whole purpose of this, is a panda bear tank. It's a mammal. And yeah, and if you guys also have any other ideas, there's plenty of other suggestions. There's other creatures that people have put. Respect everyone else's decision making on making some other creatures. I mean, some of these creatures are incredible. Like there's one that's a bamboo, a killer bamboo. There's a bison, a massive bison. There's so many different creatures, but obviously I made this video because I want more feedback and I want some more thoughts about what we can improve on our bear, because I think our bear has a good chance, and if not, you know, who knows? Possibilities are endless, you know. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Rage, for helping me put this guy together, because a lot of the stuff that me and Rage did together. So yeah, I think we did a good job, Rage. I think we did a pretty good job. So
I think we did an awesome job.
Yeah, so please, thank you guys. Vote. I would love to hear some suggestions. If you like it, vote it. If not, that's okay. Move on to another creature and take a look at it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and let's get a panda bear in ARK. Woo!